Yo YouTube people, welcome to my weekly update. This is one of the agreed preset 10 videos, one a week, going forward. So hopefully you've seen the first video, maybe you've seen the side video, and now this is the second video. The second video. So, down to business. Today I want to talk to you about training. Largely it's one of the main topics to cover, and when you first start an exercise regime, what's the most important thing you need? Tick 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 tick, is of course a good training program. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. First of all, I'm going to go through a bit of an update, so you know what the training program I'm using has actually helped me achieve so far. So when I started training, admittedly I didn't start filming straight away. I started last week, which was that was week number 3. So today is actually my 4th week of since starting training. So a bit of a I've got lifting stats and weights and stuff on some paper down here. So when I started, before I started training, I weighed myself. I was 129.5 pounds, 129.5 pounds, so very light. And my measurements were, I'll just read these out real quick. My upper arms, like biceps, measured on my, I'll always say right first and then left first, so right was 10.4 inches, left was 10.8, forearms 9.3 and 9.5, chest was 32, waist was 31, so basically no differentiation between the two, which sucks because it makes you look straight up and down, and obviously everybody wants the V shape, it's all about the V shape. Thighs were 20.3 and 21, calves were 13.3 and 13, shoulders 37.5 across. So that was how it was when I started out, and now I've trained for 4 weeks, training mainly 5 times a week, although it should be 6. I've generally missed one every week, which I hope to stop doing in the future, but you know, I'm being honest, saying what has worked and what hasn't worked. I'm trying to work out 6, and I'll talk you through that in a moment, but mostly I work out 5. I tend to miss one each week, but if I do, I try and miss a different one each week, if that makes sense. So, in my other update, I say upgrade, it's kind of an upgrade since the beginning. At 129.5 pounds, I'm now at between 135 and 137 pounds. I say that because I weighed myself and my scales have really small numbers and I couldn't really see. I thought it was about 135. My partner had a close-up look and said she thought I was just under 10 stone, about 9'8", so 137.5 pounds. That, so somewhere between 135 and 137. So I've gained sort of 5-6 pounds since I've started, and my measurements have mostly gone up, allowing for human error because this has kind of gone up and down on various weeks since the start, but as measured this morning, again right first, left second, so upper arms 11.1 and 11.4, forearms 9.5 and 9.8. Obviously that's from 10.4, 10.8, 9.3, 9.5, so they've both gone up over the time I've been training. Chest has gone from 32 to 33.3, waist has gone from 31 to 31.3, so that's not so good because the waist is growing too, but you know, hopefully not as fast, as that's just a little excess fat gain. Thighs gone from 20 to 20.3 to 21.5 and 21.9. Calves from 13.3 and 13 to 13.7, and the other one down to 13. So maybe the one calf is just not growing very much, but the other week I measured it 13.4. So let's say human error, not always measuring in the same place, but I assume they are growing too. And shoulders from 39 to 39.4, so from 37.5 originally to 39.4, so everything's gone up. Weights, measurements everywhere, so that's good, it means training is working. So that's it, quick update just so you know that I am making gains and improvements and I'm not just going to feed you some crap. So what should your training look like, and what should you look for in a training program? Now, I said in my recent video about Shit You Hear on the Gym Floor that it doesn't matter how many reps you do, and strictly speaking I still think that's true. If you work your muscles to fatigue, it doesn't really matter, although you'll be going in the strength or endurance side. So just looking from a bodybuilding standpoint, if you're just looking to gain size, build your muscles, get stronger at the same time, because you will achieve both even if you do one to a more degree, one to a lesser, then the main thing to look for, and you've probably heard this all a million times before, is a lot of compound movements, because they pump your body full of testosterone and they build more muscle easily. So lots of compound movements. You want to be training at least 3 times a week, or more, and you always want at least 1 rest day, and you always want to rest a muscle group after you've previously worked it for at least 24-48 hours for the muscle to rebuild after you've broken it down. So my training program, I'm using a split system, largely taken from Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, a very large book. You have to be a bodybuilder just to pick it up, but if you're interested and you like to read, then I would pick that book up. There's a lot of information. He describes just about every free weight and a lot of machine exercises that you can do in the gym, and he also talks about diet, he talks about competition, about posing, everything bodybuilding related. Now perhaps I'm not going to be a bodybuilder anytime soon, so I'm not so into the posing and that sort of thing, but it's an interesting read, and there's a lot of good facts in there. So I've taken my training program from there, which is a 3-day split, but where you train 6 days a week. So you train each body part 2 times a week, and this is working well for me at the moment. I'm making progress almost on a daily basis. So I'll train arms twice a week. I can increase the weight from once to the next, or increase the reps from once to the next. So it's not just every week, basically increasing everything twice every week, and obviously that will go down as I do this for longer, but yeah, so I'm doing chest and back on one day, arms and shoulders on another day, and legs on the 3rd day. Legs also include some lower back work, deadlifts, etc. for power. So that's my program at the moment. I have subbed a couple of the exercises. Now the reason I've done that is I don't think I'm smarter or know more about bodybuilding than Arnold Schwarzenegger at this point by any stretch, but I do know what works for my body and what doesn't. So certain movements, you might try them and start with the basic movements. Always start with the basics. So start with bent over row, but for me bent over row is a little bit awkward. I tend to strain my wrists, and it just doesn't feel that great for me. I can move a lot more poundage and have a better effect on my back by doing dumbbell bent over row. So I've subbed that for dumbbell row, but I would always advocate start with the basic exercise, see how you get on, learn that exercise properly, and then you can experiment and see what works best for your body. So the video's going on for a bit, and I'm largely just talking about what I've done so far, so I want to cut this off at 10 minutes, so I'll get down to it quickly. What should you look for in a training program? Okay, in my opinion, you want to be doing a minimum of 3 sets per body part each time you work them. I'm currently doing 4 sets, some people do 5, but a minimum of 3. So 3, 4, 5 sets per body part. Always you want a program that gets you to start training with your larger body parts. So a smart training program will always look something like squats, deadlifts, bent over row, bench press towards the start of the workout. Arms, abs, all the auxiliary movements will be towards the end. So if you work arms one day, you don't work them the next day. So if you're going to do a whole body training, which would look something like deadlift, squat, bench press, bent over row, military press, bicep curl, tricep dips, and some abs and crunches, you would do that maybe on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday, and that's fine. Working out 3 days a week is enough for most people to build muscle. If you want to work out more, by all means, go crazy, work out more. I'm doing 6 days a week, but make sure you split it smart. that's it. That's the video. Don't want to go on past 10 minutes, but that's a basic on training, and I'll give you a more detailed breakdown sometime soon. So the thing to remember, I have gained weight from 129 to 135, and that's, you know the training regime I'm following. Next time I'll talk to you about diet. Peace.